Welcome to Bluff City Bets, a Bluff City Media podcast. Join Daniel Greer and Chase Bobbitt as they give their plays of the day and strategies for success as a sports bettor. Now, let's get to the show.
We are Bluff City Bets. We're here to make you just a little bit smarter and make your cash go a little bit farther. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and with me as always is my guy over here. He's Chase Bobbitt. What's up, man?
What's up? How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I can't complain. We have two big announcements tonight, but you know how the show goes. We're going to go around the league. And then from there, we're going to go give you our bad beats, a big cash. I have a really bad beat and a funny story behind that. Have some big cashes this week as well. And then from there is what you play. We're going to dive into Props.Cash, the model we went into last week. We're going to spend some time there in our what to play segment, and then we're going to end the show with our official plays. We're going to give you a hockey play tonight and an NBA Finals Game 1 play, so you don't want to miss it. Let's go ahead and start from the top around the league. Anything that's hitting you, a storyline that's going to affect the betting lines this week?
I mean, the NBA Finals is obviously the elephant in the room, the big thing, the last really for me main thing going on for the whole summer. I mean, I'll try to learn baseball, but for the most part, this is going to be my biggest opportunity to make some money. So just how everything's, ended up playing out in that Celtics series. Obviously, it's been 6 days since we talked last, and ultimately, we talked about how we didn't really like either of the lines, and I think we were kind of proven right in terms of the value that they were getting the Celtics at. And I understand, looking back, why they were given that value, considering, if you would have told me after Game 6, I probably would have put everything I had on Boston to win that game just with the momentum and everything. You kind of can't take into account what happened with Tatum and his injury, whether or not that would have actually mattered, I don't know. But just looking at a team in Denver who it feels like they haven't played this season really with how long it's been since that Lakers series ended. And you basically have a team that's very fresh, but probably a bit rusty against a team that's hot, but also you think that the legs are going to start to tire, especially at altitude with Denver having home court. So I just think it's interesting. Again, there's really no value in the series prop, just straight up future. I think Denver's minus 380 right now to win it. I'm looking at like a series spread, Denver minus 1.5, maybe an exact outcome, whether it's Denver 4-2, Denver 4-1. I think something like that is really all that you're going to find value in, just with what the line is. If you wanted to get Denver, I wish we could have talked between, Game 6 and Game 7, because that's when you could have gotten Denver at a good price, because the books were kind of accounting for Boston to win it, essentially. So kind of lost all the value there. But yeah, the series is, I think, going to go very fast. But again, as we were saying before we started recording, I've said that since Miami started and they're still here. So I really don't know what to expect with the Heat right now.
Yeah, there's so much to look at. And I know that there is soccer going. I know they're wrapping up some leagues around soccer. And I know that golf is going. I do have some plays on golf I'm going to give out because this show is coming out before the Thursday start. And so normally I can't give out some plays that I already have that we put in the Discord channel, but I'll go ahead and give those out. And that way everybody can have those. And so in our segment, you know what, let's do those now, because I think that'll be smart. So in our plays that we have for just kind of, I guess, the golf in general, these won't be my official plays, but they're in the Discord channel. And so I want to make sure I give those out, especially since we're doing these a day earlier. And football's not around, so we don't have to worry about changing out for that. But what I've put out so far, and these are going to be completely a breakdown on what I've given out to date for the Memorial Tournament that is starting on Thursday. And so if you want to write these down, you can always pause and go back to the show. But I'll go ahead and give these out. And these are tournament matchups, and I have 4 of them right now. And you can find, I think, all of these over at DraftKings, but it's Patrick Cantlay over Xander Schauffele, and it's minus 130. Siwoo Kim over Wyndham Clark. I think it's minus 110. I think that's one of my favorite plays, is because I really like Siwoo Kim right now. Harris English, who I love, he's always played well in the FedEx St. Jude Classic when it was around then. Obviously, it's changed over time, but Harris English has always plays well. His family is very nice. I met them because they've been here, and he's always played well. And I go to the tournament on Sundays, and so somehow I find my way into just seeing these top-level golfers, but nobody's following them because they're not the big names. And so I usually always follow them. And so Harris English, his family is always very nice, especially here in Memphis. But Harris English over JJ Spawn -120, Tyrell Hatton over Jason Day -130. Tyrell Hatton has played well, and I believe that Jason Day was playing well, but I think he's kind of taken a backseat a little bit. But those four: Cantlay over Shoffley, Siwoo Kim over Wyndham Clark, Harris English over JJ Spawn, and then Tyrell Hatton over Jason Day are my tournament matchups. I feel good about those. Let's go into some top 40s, top 20s, and then a winner. Top 40 is Harris English at +105. Austin Eckroat, whatever his name is. Austin. You can go at Austin. +190 as a top 40. You can also hit both those guys for top 30. I believe that Austin's got a decent odds, even at +30. So if you want to go to FanDuel and find those, you can. I believe FanDuel is Austin at a +190. Top 20, Tyra Hatton, +105. Matt Kuchar is +250. I think I went over to MGM and got Matt Kuchar at +250. But you can also get Matt Kuchar at a +140 for top 30. So if the odds are still good and you still like that, you can go find him at top 30 over there at FanDuel. But a winner is Tyrell Hatton. I think Hatton's played well. He hasn't played great, but I think Tyrell Hatton as a winner at +2,500 is good odds. And so some of those, especially the winner, those are just sprinkles, right? So don't go crazy. But I think it's a lot of fun, and those are ones that I love. And so go ahead and hit those, and I promise you will win money. If you hit every single one, you will win money. Guarantee. That's a bad guarantee, but it's a guarantee. I'm gonna stand on that. But what's around the league? It is the game 1 of the NBA Finals. I think it's going to be good. I'm curious to see a guy that I rode hard. I know is Caleb Martin throughout that entire series. Won me a good amount of money. Him and Derek White. Derek White missed his 3-pointers in this last game, but Caleb Martin has just been impressing. One thing I'm looking at is his lines are already out there and they look good. Caleb Martin is over 2.5 threes at +125, so getting closer back to where he was for a little bit. But man, I just think that he's hot, and I like riding hot players because I feel like the trends is just going to go in your favor. So, anybody you like in that series off of just a random player prop?
So for the series in general, I like Jamal Murray to have the highest scoring game in the series, +200. So you're getting better odds on Jokic and Butler to have that than Murray. So Murray's the third best odds. Murray's highest in his 3 series that he's played has been 34 in that last series, 37 in the series against the Suns, and then 40 in the series against the Timberwolves. I think if you're just looking at someone who has the capability of going off, we've seen Jamal Murray do it, as I just said, basically in 3 separate series. He's done it and figured out ways to, get hot. And again, when you're looking at Jimmy Butler, obviously he had that crazy round 1 against the Bucks where he had 56 in game 4. But since then, the highest that he's gone in any other game has been 35. He averaged just under 25 in the second round and then the Eastern Conference Finals. So I just think that Jamal Murray, you're getting good odds. Obviously, Jokic, I think, would be the biggest threat and just how Bam kind of deals with him. But with Jokic, he just lets the game come to him so much that he's not going to force scoring the ball. And we've seen that, throughout his career. And I think Bam's a competent defender in certain aspects. So I do think that you're getting good value at Murray +200 to have the highest scoring game in the series. I also think the series isn't going long. So I think that you're getting, I think Denver's going to win the series in maybe 5 or 6. And I think you're getting good odds with Jamal Murray there.
Yeah, I'm on you as well. With I'm picking Denver in 6 games. One thing I'm looking at is player specials. I think that sometimes if you don't feel good about one player in particular, like you're just on the fence, right? So for this example, Caleb Martin and Michael Porter Jr. under player specials on DraftKings has 6 combined threes made at plus 155. Obviously, you have to have both of them play a decent game. But if you feel good about Caleb Martin possibly hitting 3 3-pointers and you feel good about Michael Porter Jr. possibly hitting 3 3-pointers, at that point, yes, I'm okay with going on both of those individually. But if you want to go with both of them because Michael Porter Jr. has shot well, so has Caleb Martin. One of them goes for 4, one of them goes for 2. You still cover. Both go for 3, you still cover. One of them might go off for 5. I think Michael Porter Jr. went off for 5 3-pointers in the last game he played against the Heat.
One thing about him, he's going to shoot the ball every time he touches it. So you're getting the looks.
Right.
I've never seen someone, he does not, I think they call him Michael Porter doesn't swing the ball junior because he just throws up everything. It's crazy. I never noticed until I saw that on Twitter. And you watch him and he shoots. It doesn't matter. No bad shots for him. So I agree. And Martin, the only thing with Martin is I'm interested to see if the books figure him out because I'm sure that they got destroyed in this last series, including from our Discord. But I mean, again, like he's almost running the offense at times along with Jimmy Butler, or Jimmy Butler's playing off of him. So I just don't think that there's really, and I mean, Denver, who's gonna guard him? I mean, you think Aaron Gordon's probably gonna guard Jimmy Butler. And besides that, is it Jamal Murray on him? I really don't know. KCP, I guess. So I think you are getting a good spot with Martin. I'm just curious to see how the books kind of adjust to him.
Yeah, so obviously the books have adjusted for sure as of right now because they have him at 16.5 points. Obviously his threes are still there, so they have adjusted for sure on that. But I'm curious, like you just said, what they do because obviously Jamal Murray, I would imagine, is going to be on Gabe Vincent because there's no reason you'd put somebody else there. You're going to have Bam and Jokic on each other. And at that point, somebody's got to guard Jimmy Butler. So you're putting Aaron Gordon on Jimmy Butler, right?
Gordon guarded LeBron all last series, so I would assume that's probably the biggest comp.
So who's left? So then you have obviously KCP and Michael Porter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have then left is so Jimmy Butler's taken care of, right? Bam's taken care of. Yeah. So who's going to be the starter along? Is it Strus?
Strus, yeah, it would be Strus because Kevin Love probably isn't going to play. So it would be Strus and Martin. So you'd assume I have to be Michael Porter Jr. at that point, I would think, just size-wise. So, and he's not a good defender, so he's been better, but he's still not a good defender.
Yeah, so that's the thing is that just to kind of point that out is sometimes that betting you can look at numbers, you can look at it whatever you want, but sometimes it does come around to just simply like breaking it down. Very simple. One guy, Alan Bell, who I love on CBS Sportsline, he says that especially during football season, he'll go and he has a whiteboard and he'll break down the game of on the whiteboard completely of how he sees the game playing out. Mm-hmm. And then he'll bet accordingly. Because if he sees it a certain way and he thinks the game's going to go that way and his intuition and his stats and everything backs it up that way by the matchups, the breakdowns and everything, then he's going to bet that direction. And, more than likely it will kind of play out that way. Right. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you have to break down the game. So breaking down the matchups and breaking down what it could potentially look like could help you out, especially early in a half, early in a quarter, but early in a series as well. And so that's one thing to watch out for is the way the game could potentially break down. So we'll go ahead and lean on that later. Let's hit our bad beats, our big cash, and then we're going to have our 2 big announcements before we get into our last 2 segments. We'll get through this one pretty fast, but any bad beats or big cash you had this week?
I mean, just sticking with the Heat Celtics series, I've just been on the wrong side of, stars just not doing what they're supposed to do. I had Jimmy Butler 25 plus to cash a plus 350 play in game 6. And he decided to wait too late. I think I needed 16 points in the fourth quarter. He scored 15. He went to the line. He was going for 2 free throws, which I was like, all right, he's making both. One stop, you go to overtime, cash, easy. Then that was probably the most chaotic 30 seconds of basketball I've ever seen in my life. Missoula, and I think after the fact, I found out that regardless, they could have reviewed that it was a 3 instead of a 2, but they called it a 2 on the floor.
Yeah.
Missoula challenged, and then they moved it to a 3. Granted, he did end up getting the 0.9 seconds back, which ended up being what was needed for that game winner. But I did have Butler 25 plus to cash that plus 350, and that was painful because he ended with 24. I just needed overtime, or again, he missed a couple free throws before that. I was 12 for 14 from the line, and just right there. Anytime I have someone who misses their prop barely, I always look at what their free throws were, and it just makes me sick. I don't understand how you shoot so many and you still miss. But I had that, and then I think many people were in the same boat in Game 7. Jayson Tatum had 25 points in that game as well, and it was just – you turn your ankle on the first play, it was dead from there. So that was unfortunate, but nothing too crazy. I've been doing better with the bad beats.
Yeah. So one bad beat I had, and this is to win a $1,000, is and I put this in the Discord. So if you're on there, if you're in the Discord, we talked today. We just recorded our live show. We're doing this on a Tuesday night, or we had to do it on a day earlier because I'll be out of town with work. But I was talking about it's 17 cents a day to join our Discord. I promise you, the plays that we put out are worth 17 cents a day. We're going to win you at least $5 a month, I believe. Right now, I am currently up 34.7 units on the month. Okay. And that's just me. I don't put all my plays out there. But for the most part, all my plays, if I went back to look to the record in the Discord, you're going to win at least $5. Okay. That's my only thing I will say is you're going to win that. So join us over there. You can go ahead and hit BCM Bets as the code over at Bluff City Media. Just go to our Twitter page, and you can end up finding your way over to Bluff City Media. But just join our Discord channel, and you will win your money, your $5 back that you're betting. But you'll get a month free just to try it out for free. Why not? But what I put in was Caleb Martin 15 points, and this was for Game 6. Caleb Martin 15 points. Gabe Vincent 15 points. Derek White 3 3-pointers, and that all hit. This was a plus 3,984. And my last one, Jayson Tatum over 5.5 assists, and he had 5. I lost for the simple fact that they did not give Jayson Tatum an assist.
We were fighting for it
because he got tipped.
Yeah,
by Bam Adebayo by a little bit. It was like a tip of the finger got tipped, and we're still fighting about it. Not as much me, but Twitter, gambling Twitter, for the simple fact that the NBA channel today came out and had the best assist of the week. And at the 35-second mark on their Twitter channel, it had the Jayson Tatum assist to Robert Williams. That's just sickening.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That should be investigated. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But, that killed me. And so it is what it is. But that was my bad beat of the week. Big cashes, nothing really just crazy. I've had some really good big cashes, but mainly all in all, it's Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin was incredible for me. I am probably going to lay off him Game 1 just for the simple fact that I'm not a dummy and I know how this thing works. I don't want my money all gone back. But I will look at the way the first quarter goes, because I don't believe that they're going to play Caleb Martin 40-plus minutes. I just don't see that happening. It's going to be, especially coming off of a big game, a 7-game series where they're having to fight back and win. He was great. I just don't know if we're going to play him crazy minutes. And so I'm going to watch and see how it goes and what kind of matchups he's getting. Is he getting a free run? Is his jumper falling? Because most of the time his number will stay pretty consistent depending on how much he hits early. I hit his number for 13.5 in that first in the Game 7. And so it fell two points within the first 6 minutes. And so that's something I want to look at is these guys who aren't the big dogs. I always look at them for their numbers to fall. So that's all I have on that. We'll go over to what to play. But first, anything you have on bad beats or big cash?
Big Cash. There was one I was proud of. I know you're the golf guy. I just started playing golf again this week, and I don't watch much of it either. But I had Morikawa birdie or better on hole 8 in round 2, live bet it, and that hit. It was a par 3. That was a fun one. So that was one I was excited about. I was just like basically almost live betting as I was watching the round and just following it along. I was betting him. Before that, I had him against Finau. Is that how you say it?
Tony Finau. Sorry.
Finau. Yeah.
Finau.
I had him hole 2 winner before that, like match play -115, and then took that, put it on the birdie or better, and I was just riding that the whole round. So that was a fun one, but that was really all I had.
Wow. So I can't do those golf live bets, man. I can't. They kill me. All right. It's been a good week. Especially for, live betting in general has been fun for the NBA finals. I believe that live betting is going to be good as well. I kind of want to watch and see how it goes. I will have a play on that for my official play. So the very last segment, my official play will be game 1 play on the NBA finals. I know you have another one. Yours will be more hockey related. So if you're a hockey fan, make sure you stay tuned for that. But our big announcement, this has been in the works for a good bit. We officially have a partnership. We have a podcast sponsor, somebody who's going to join the team of Bluff City Bets. Our main people will be ZenSports. That's ZEN Sports. They are coming on and joining us, and they're going to be our partner going forward. And so ZenSports is brand spanking new, and they're going to kind of revolutionize, but also make sports betting a little bit easier. It's going to make sports betting a little bit more fun. It's going to make it a little bit more profitable. And so the lines, as you see on DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, the normal lines that we already play, they're going to be very similar to that. So nothing crazy outside of that. It's just the fact is that their actual platform, which you can't get just yet, but it's coming in June, the very early part of June. It should be right around the corner. They're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And so we can't exactly announce the date just yet because they have to do all the legal stuff. But they are joining us and they are about to launch. And so if you want to be one of the first people to come on and be a part of Zen Sports, we will have a code to join. And by our next episode, we hope that we can share a little bit more information next week. And so join us in joining the Zen Sports family. Their motto is betting just got better. And so the reason is because they give you a cashback bonus and cash rewards. So you know how you have airline miles? Do you have any, Chase, do you have any airline miles? Like, do you have any like credit cards that have like different, like, hey, just spend money, do our big interest, and we'll give you some stuff back.
Yep. Starting to rack up on the Delta points.
See? All right. Well, instead of the gimmicks that you might get with other sports books, right? They want to give you free bets back so you can just play more, and probably just going to burn them on a random home run for plus 450 that probably isn't going to hit. Well, they actually give you back cash rewards, which is different. That's the first time that I've actually ever seen it. And so it's big, but they give you cash back for playing, just like a savings account. Okay. So you're not really savings. There's no, you can't like put it in the bank. But if you're playing and you're winning on a consistent basis, it's kind of like a savings account. But the cash rewards program, you can earn 3% betting for the entire volume of that month. So at the first of the month, the entire amount that you put in, you get 3% back, which is a cool deal. And so make sure that you join Zen Sports with us. So go ahead, Google them, check them out, and you're going to be more than happy to join that. They have a referral awards program. You get 3% back of anybody that you refer for the first 6 months, which is awesome. And then a welcome bonus that you get 5% cash, straight cash, homie, 5% for the first 15 days of your betting volume. So first 15 days you bet, you get 5% back of that. So it's cool. It's easy. It's fun. I've seen it already. I know that it's going to be very easy and clean to look at. the way you can kind of move around the app and move around different ways. It's going to be much easier than other apps, but it's going to be your same features that you get at the other sports book. But this is going to be the first one where you can actually get cash back. So make sure you tune in. Zen Sports, they're going to be our podcast sponsor moving forward. And so you'll hear a lot more about them, and also the date that they actually go live. Stay tuned to either the podcast or mainly our Bluff City Bets, our Twitter account, because you're going to make sure that we're going to tell you exactly when that's happening. So a few more pieces of paperwork to fill out. All right. We are now going to go over and present our other sponsorship that we have, and that's Props.Cash. And so we have now joined Props.Cash. It's just an easier way to bet. It's an easier way to look at different bets that you can see, different ways to break it down. And so we're going to be loading here, and we're going to look through these. But Props.Cash, if you want to join Props.Cash at all, just go ahead and join over at easy enough, Props.Cash, and put in the code BCMBET. That's Bluff City Media Bet, BCMBET. And you can go ahead and get the sign-up bonus from us and join them, and it'll be very easy to join. But that's going to be our other big sponsor and show. The reason that is because we want to get on here and show you different things and different ways to use this app. And they have an app. They also have the website, which I like the most, preferably. And so we're going to look through these. And so, all right, I've talked enough about all of our deals, so I'm going to keep it going now. Let's go ahead and hit on some bets that you're looking at. So who can I look through that we can kind of talk through and see kind of maybe lines we can attack for game one of the NBA Finals?
Let's start. I see it there on the left. Let's go Bam points. He's been someone who I just can't figure out. I've never been able to figure out. You see sometimes he looks like Hakeem, and then as you see there, he's been under in 5 straight games, it looks like.
Yeah.
I just don't – I would never feel comfortable personally with a Bam 16.5 line. I know Jokic isn't the best defender, but still Bam just doesn't seem to assert himself the way that he should at times. So I'm just interested to see, a line that high, kind of how that plays out.
Yeah, so if you look at this, all right, so we have these lines, right, and all this looks good. But let's go to something different. I don't want to go there. Here it is. Sorry. Sometimes on my phone, and these all look different. All right, so if you look at the playoffs, he's hitting at a 45%. So that's kind of that's one thing I look at.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to look at playoff games for the simple fact that playoff games are a little different. And something else that you can look at is these games. And so obviously you're looking at these last 5. You can break it down a little bit more to the last 10, and you can kind of see, all right, how does he play in maybe game 1? So game 1, 2, okay, maybe then they figured him out. So obviously we have there. And so he played better in the last series late, but early he didn't play as good, right? So sometimes it just is so tough to try to figure somebody out. I look for trends and see how somebody might play. So if you look in the first game of the series here, he didn't play well, but the first series here, he did play well. So it's tough to kind of figure out. What I would like to do with him is first, I want to go get this off of the playoffs. Let's go full so we can make sure we can kind of see maybe what he did against Denver earlier in the season. I know games are a little bit different there. But also, I want to look at different stats. So there you have the points. So here you're looking at rebounds. Look at the rebound differential there. Okay, just this season. In the last 10, he's kind of up and down all over the place. I don't know if he's going to rebound as well against Jokic. What do you think?
I don't think so. I really don't think – I think he's – for lack of a better word, I think he's soft.
Okay.
And Jokic is someone who isn't. So I really do think that he's going to struggle, especially, like you said, rebounding the ball. You can see right there, average 4.5 rebounds per game against Denver. So right there, it tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this number 2 is minus 140. So the sports books are saying he's going to go for 9 rebounds, which is crazy to me. So when that looks like that, and I see this this plus 110, that's one thing I'm looking at as well. And that's something to look at. All right, so let's go to assist as well. How has he been on passing? And so the line is 3.5 on the season. It's only been 42%. Okay. Well, let's go just to the playoffs. The playoffs, he's been at 50%. So he's done better in the playoffs. The last two games, he's done well. Those are big numbers, right? That 7 is a big number and that 5 is a big number. But that means he hasn't been scoring the ball. So I wonder if you then look at points and assists, how does that look? Okay, just I want to go all the playoffs, the full playoffs. What's that number look like? It's out of 20 and he's 9's at 20.5, 35%. So the next thing I'm going to go look at is points and rebounds. Okay, so it's 40%. Okay, so the last one was what? 35. So it's lower. Yeah. So his assists have been lower than the rebounds. The rebounds, he's hit those more. 5% difference. And then I'm going to go look at rebounds and assists to see. Okay, so that's been his biggest thing is his rebounds and assists combined. That's his highest number, other than the points. The points obviously are still at 45%. That's his lowest. So maybe that's something to look at. Is I don't know if you can figure out a trend for him, what makes sense the most. Let's combine them all. 30%. That's been the lowest. My thing would be is out of 6 of 20 games, 30%. You're talking about a team that he should be a little bit more tired. That number last time, that last game he played was 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I always think that the highest number, if there's no like outlying part of like assist or rebounds that I can find, like if I can't see, hey, this guy hits his assists more in these games or whatever, if I can't figure out the reason to whatever he's doing, then I'm just going to go try to find the highest number in hopes that he just, flops on one, 2 of the 3 probably. And that's what I would probably go with there. So anything that you saw in there?
I just saw that, just like I said, he's just all over the place, and it's hard to tell exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah.
More than anything. So I just thought it was interesting to kind of see, if there was any trends at all, which is again why this platform is so helpful, since it's hard to sit there on like ESPN and whatever and kind of add up and all that. So, but yeah, look at Jamal Murray threes. He's been someone, and we talked about him earlier with the to score the most points in the series or in a game in the series, and obviously a lot of that work could be done from 3. So I'm curious to see what that's at.
All right, so we're still in playoffs. Let's go full and see how he did against them. So he only had
Murray's
one
of those guys that's tough to judge in the regular season.
So
he's the real thing.
Last game of the year on the actual calendar year, 12/30, he had 1. So I can't imagine he was, I can't really zero in like this as much as I want.
Yeah.
But around this area was when he hit the 1. And so roughly still on his way back. So from here, looks like 2022, he was very pitiful in his shooting, but then it picked up, right? And then started kind of coming back. And then the playoffs, if you look at these last 10 games, crazy, these 4 right here, combined. Yeah. Obviously, he went in 0, and then all, these are clunkers. But this is the part that scares me, but also the part that I would look at, then maybe go back all the playoffs.
Playoffs, okay. Can you do home and away?
Yeah. So you're looking at home. This is just the playoffs, right? So all of these games in the playoffs, he's 6 of 8. So let's go look at away. And you're looking at 3-point percentage for the Heat that they give up. This is what they allow. This is what the percent that they give up. Is 28, and they're 21st ranked. Let's go away real quick. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, I apologize. Join us over on the YouTube. You're going to see it a lot better. And if you're about to hear Chase try to figure out, all right, going to Miami, if it's under 3.5, we're slamming it, because on the road, he's 29%, 2 of 7 on the road, just this playoff in general. That's big. All right. So on the road in general, he's 22% on the year. And then if you go home, he has been 43%. That's a big swing.
Yeah, he likes the altitude.
Yeah, so that's a guy I would stay away from, but the only reason I'm staying away is it's minus 140 to go on the under. The over, I wouldn't touch.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
The only way I touch that is if
usually
you
regular season, you see that at 2.5 pretty much the whole
Yeah.
season. So getting 3.5 there.
Yep. Michael Porter Jr., he's minus 145 to go over the 2.5, and that's because he's hit a good amount. In the playoffs overall, he is hitting on 53%, which is a decent number, but he's hit it in the last 4 games. So for the 5 of the last 6, he's hit it. So I don't know. That's probably a stay away from me for sure. Anything that's minus 140 or more, unless it's a low number, I'm probably staying away. And Michael Porter Jr., it's great, but the thing is, unless he comes out and he hits a quick 3-pointer, that number will fall. And so if you look at his first quarter number, he hit 4 against Phoenix, but for the most part, it's not been a crazy amount that he's done that. I'd say he's hit two or more in 2 of the 15 games. And so I think it's just probably pretty sporadic, and you can kind of play the odds. And just looking at these numbers, looks like he is a better 3-point shooter after half.
Yeah.
So I think a 3-point number, I think look, his numbers after halftime are just crazy. Let's look at the first half and the second half. I know we're going long on these, but first half, he's went over 1.5, 4 of 15. Second half, he's went over 8 of 15. So he's a second half player. So that's maybe something to watch on a player like that. At half, you're probably going to get a 1.5 line. Maybe he's hit 1. Maybe it's a 2.5 with a big bump, like a 2.5 plus 135. That's when you hit that number, and you don't hit it at 2.5 minus 145.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Anybody else you want to look at? I know you've been going this pretty long, but I figured we'd hit on some Props.Cash because they're our new sponsor.
Yeah, those were the main ones that I had, so I'm good.
All right. I will look at let's look at Caleb Martin on his 3-point made. I clicked on the wrong thing just because I think it'll be fun. Where is Caleb Martin?
I think it was a bit higher. Yeah.
There he is. It doesn't. Oh, sorry. It's the second half. There he goes. All right. So he's at 2.5 plus 125. Just looking at the entire number that he has, it's 30%. But this series, and that's what I want people to understand. These are the 7 games in this series. Out of the 7 games of the Boston Heat series, he hit 5 of 7 times. He went over 2.5. Outside of that, he's went over 1 time. So be careful betting guys like Caleb Martin. Yes, I think he's great. I rode him very hard in that series. I think he played really well. He could continue to play well. But I'm going to be very careful of that guy because I don't know if he can continue to do it. And I think his 3-point shooting correlates exactly with his points. And so my thing is he's going to have to hit 3-pointers because that's his game to go over a line like a 16.5. So at this point, if I see a 16, unless it's a 12 or 13 line on points, I'm not going after it for the simple fact that he has to have 2 to 3 3-pointers to even make it close to that. And so if you see it at minus 110 at 16.5, go ahead and hit the plus 125. It's better odds for 3 3-pointers, and more than likely to get over 17 or more points, he has to hit 3 3-pointers. So just make sure you look at that. So that's my only teaching moment of the day. But use this Props.Cash. Use the code BCMBet, and I promise you will not be upset about spending any money with them at all because it will make you a better and a smarter gambler, somebody who really you really enjoy this. All right, we're gonna stop sharing that. Let's go ahead and get into our official plays. We spent enough time on that, so we got a few minutes to go ahead and give out our official plays. I'm going to let you go first. I know you got a hockey play we don't want that to ice over.
Yeah. So freshening it up, I don't think I've ever done a hockey bet on this show. It's going to be the Vegas
so
Knights
why?
minus 135. You said what?
So why?
Why? Just feeling it. Just
I like it.
I was like, NBA, we've done enough NBA. Let's throw something out of left field. So I'm going to go Vegas Knights minus 135 in game one. I know enough to know that they were one of the best teams in the regular season, and throughout the playoffs, they've been flying. They beat the Oilers. We kind of talked about that game a bit because I was on the wrong side of it. And then we saw them smack the Dallas Stars in that closeout game. They beat them 6-0. They also beat them 4-0 in that series. So they're scoring a bunch of goals. And Panthers are similar to the Heat, actually, ironically being from the same spot where they're kind of flying under the radar majority of the season and have kind of gone on this run, grinded out a lot of wins. They won a 4 overtime game the other series against the Hurricanes. So you've seen them, grind out wins. But Vegas at home, we've seen they're an exciting team in Las Vegas, lots of goals. They are 7-3 in the playoffs at home. So I like them to finish out game one minus 135 to win the game.
Wow. All right. Is this the Stanley Cup Finals?
This is the Stanley Cup Finals, yes.
Wow.
And the game is on Saturday the 3rd. So plenty of time to get that in
like it.
by when this comes out.
All right. I like it. All right. So Golden Knights money line minus 135. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give us a NBA bet, and it's going to be the Miami Heat first quarter +3. You can find this over on DraftKings. We looked at it before the show, trying to find the best odds possible, and it is over on DraftKings. +3, minus 115. And the reason is, it's not that we think Miami's a better team. I just think 9 days off is too many days.
Mm-hmm.
I think 9 days off of doing anything, when you get back, you think you're raring to go. And usually you are raring to go, but you are out of sync. It's just not coming back as easily. It's a little frustrating. And then after the first quarter, I think Denver gets going. I think halftime it's going to be like a 3, 4, 5 point game, and Denver's going to be leading. And then at that point, you're going to see Denver come out and probably Michael Porter Jr. take off and hit 2 extra 3-pointers there in the third quarter. He'll probably cash some live bets for us. But I would say that Miami, coming off a big series, I think they're going to still be in a mindset of being raring to go. I think coming out and playing great in the first quarter does not worry me at all. I don't think they're going to be tired. I don't think anything's going to happen. I think Miami +3. More than likely, I think Miami wins the first quarter, and you're going to see gambling Twitter. You're going to start seeing NBA Twitter go crazy, saying, "All right, is Hemi Buckets doing again?"
Yeah. I mean, I think you're almost going to get them on like the crossing pass where you have Denver kind of peaking and Miami's going to start going down naturally, again, adrenaline with those tired legs, it's going to get them through that first quarter. And like you said, I think after that, and again, we saw the Nuggets, that final game against the Lakers, they were down, 8, I think at halftime. And they came out in the third quarter and won by like 21 points in the third quarter alone. Yeah. So, like you said, I think, and you can't replicate it in practice as much as they practice, as much as they scrimmage, do whatever, which I guarantee you they're not. I mean, there's no way they're doing that much just for risk of injury. So there's just really no way to replicate it. So I agree that you could get them in a good spot. And again, that's even a time where you take Miami and then you live bet on the other side of it, take the Nuggets after that first quarter to kind of go from there. But I definitely agree with that. I mean, Miami, like you said, who would have thought Miami would have beat Boston by how much they did? So they're definitely – and they beat Boston the first 2 games in Boston last series, and they came out firing in that game 1 as well. So I definitely agree with that.
They just don't – the Heat just don't come off to me as being like prima donnas, like guys like, hey, finally we beat the Celtics. I think that they're just lunch pail guys.
Yeah.
I think they're going to – don't get me wrong. The altitude will catch up to them. The heavy legs, the tired legs will catch up to them 100%. But that's not in the first quarter. I just see them playing better in the first quarter off a team that's had too many days rest off, too many days of rest. I don't know. That's the first thing that stuck out to me initially right when it happened is the first quarter. And so we'll see how it goes. I don't know how many bets we'll have. Does this game scare you at all betting?
I always say when a line's too good to be true, and I said that in whatever game that was. I think it was game 5. One of the games proved me
all
wrong.
Of them.
Yeah, that whole series just threw me off. But I do think that I like Denver minus 8.5. I'm actually not too concerned about it. It doesn't really scare me. I think they're going to take care of business. So I don't think it's as – I mean, a line like that, obviously, in an NBA Finals game is scary to see. But I think that Denver just takes care of business. Like you said, I think both these teams are just so efficient. They do it the right way. We've seen both these teams kind of build it out correctly. But I'm not too concerned. I think that line is just right, even though it may seem a bit high.
Yeah, what I'm going to do for sure is, so I'm playing the first quarter on the Heat. What I'm doing is waiting and seeing on a lot of player props in general. I'll probably look at Michael Porter Jr. 3-pointers late. I'll probably watch and see Caleb Martin and see how he plays early and see that maybe the matchups, and maybe I just watch the first few minutes and see what happens. But I'm probably going to hit his points after at some point once they fall to 13.5, 12.5, depending on how far it falls. But I'm going to 100% hit. As soon as I win my bet on Miami Heat +3, I'm going to take everything I won and I'm going to put it on the Denver Nuggets to win the game, whatever that number is, because it's got to be at 5 or less. So at that point, I think the Denver Nuggets, and then I get a double cash. Worst case, just walk away. Maybe I break even or just lose what I lost in the very beginning or would have lost. But either way, I'm going to go all in. But I think it's going to be a first quarter for Miami. And then going to be a Denver Nuggets win overall. So we'll see. I think it's a fun series. I think it's going to be a good series. I think it will be tired legs late into the first game for the Heat. And then the second game, I think they'll catch up. I think they'll have a better game. I still think that Denver is going to win the first 2 games. And then we go back to Miami. Miami might figure out a way to win the next 2. And we're even. And then we're going to go to Denver, win the next 2. And they close out in Miami. But hey, crazier things have happened. If Miami steals a game in Denver, it wouldn't shock me.
At this point, like I keep saying, there's no point of saying I don't think Miami can do it at this point, just with everything that's been going on since the start. I mean, Boston was minus 530 to win that last series, and we saw. I mean, Miami lost the first playing game, so there's just really no rhyme or reason at this point with guys who kind of play that style and have that mentality.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well. Tennessee, our friends here in Memphis, get ready. Betting just got better with ZenSports, so make sure you tune in to ZenSports. Our update will be coming on them as soon as they go live here in the first part of June. And also with Props.Cash, make sure you go over there and put in code BCMBet. But that's all we have this week. Chase, do you have anything else before we get out of here?
No, that's it.
Now that I've pushed all the wrong buttons. It's gonna be a good week. It's gonna be a fun week. The finals, obviously with the Stanley Cup, the NBA finals, soccer is wrapping up but starting, and in some other leagues, baseball is just kind of starting to really rear its head. Right after these finals are over, I think that baseball is going to really take over, and at that point, we're talking about getting closer to football. So football is coming. So
100 days, I think today.
Crazy.
I think I saw that on Twitter.
This year is flying by. It's summer. My kids are home all day with me. I can't. It's tough. It's tough, guys. But anyway, so that's why I'm going out of town for work. So for all crystal clear. That's all we have. Let's have a great week and let's all cash together.
Thank you for listening to Bluff City Bets. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.